Ravi learned the truth too late, but the lesson stayed with him forever. Nothing in life is truly free. Not success, not respect, not confidence, and not even the English words that finally gave him a voice. Ravi was born in a small village where life was simple and hard at the same time. People worked from morning to night, and dreams were often replaced by survival. Ravi was a quiet boy. He listened more than he spoke. Not because he had nothing to say, but because he was afraid to say it. English words confused him. Even simple sentences felt heavy on his tongue. At school, Ravi loved sitting in the back. It felt safe there. Teachers spoke English sometimes, and his classmates laughed when someone made a mistake. Ravi promised himself he would never speak English aloud. Silence felt free. Speaking felt costly. One day, a new teacher came to the school. She spoke slowly and clearly. She told the students that English was not magic and not talent. English is a skill, she said. And skills are never free. You must pay with time, effort, and patience. Ravi did not fully understand her words, but they stayed in his mind. After finishing school, Ravi moved to the city for work. The city was loud, fast, and unforgiving. He worked in a small shop where customers spoke English every day. Ravi understood little. When customers asked questions, he froze. His boss noticed and warned him gently at first. Later, the warnings became serious. One evening, a customer spoke harshly to Ravi because he could not answer in English. Ravi felt small. His face burned with shame. That night, sitting alone in his room, Ravi realized something painful. His silence was not free anymore. It was costing him respect, confidence, and opportunities. The next day, Ravi searched for free ways to learn English. Free videos, free apps, free lessons. He watched many videos, but he did not practice. He listened, but he did not speak. Days passed. Weeks passed. Nothing changed. Ravi felt frustrated. Why is this not working? He asked himself. Then he remembered his teacher's words, nothing is free. He understood it differently now. Learning English was not about free resources. It was about paying attention, paying effort, paying courage. Ravi started small. Every morning, he learned 5 new English words. He spoke them aloud, even when his pronunciation was bad. At night, he listened to simple English stories. He repeated sentences slowly. It was uncomfortable. It was tiring. But it was real. At work, Ravi made mistakes every day. People corrected him. Sometimes they laughed. Sometimes they ignored him. Each moment hurt. Each moment felt like a prize. But Ravi paid it anyway. Slowly, something changed. One day, Ravi answered a customer in simple English. Just one sentence. The customer smiled. Ravi felt something warm inside his chest. Confidence. It was small, but it was real. Weeks turned into months. Ravi's English was still not perfect, but it was alive. He spoke without fear. He asked questions. He learned from mistakes. He realized that every mistake was not failure, it was payment. Ravi also noticed something else. People respected effort. When they saw him trying, they helped him. When they saw consistency, they trusted him. One evening, Ravi stood in front of a mirror and spoke English to himself. For the first time, he did not feel ashamed. He smiled. Nothing had been free. Not the embarrassment. Not the hard days. Not the fear. But everything had been worth it. Ravi finally understood the truth of life. What costs nothing is worth nothing. What costs effort changes everything. And English, the language he once feared, became the bridge to his confidence, his growth, and his future. Ravi's days slowly began to change, but not easily. Every morning, he woke up before sunrise. The room was quiet, and the city outside was still asleep. Ravi sat on his bed, opened a small notebook, and read English words aloud. His voice was low at first. He was afraid that someone might hear him. The words felt strange in his mouth, but he repeated them again and again. Each word cost effort. Each sentence cost courage. At work, mistakes followed him like shadows. Sometimes he mixed words. Sometimes he forgot simple sentences. Customers became impatient. His boss watched silently. Ravi felt tired, but he did not stop. He remembered that giving up was also a price, but a much bigger one. One afternoon, a customer asked Ravi a question in English. Ravi understood only half of it. His heart started beating fast. In the past, he would have stayed silent. This time, he tried. His sentence was broken. His grammar was wrong. But the customer understood him. That small moment stayed with Ravi for the rest of the day. He realized that perfection was not required. Effort was. Not everyone was kind. Some people laughed when Ravi spoke slowly. Some corrected him rudely. Every laugh hurt. Every rude word felt heavy. Many nights, Ravi lay in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering if all this pain was worth it. He thought about quitting many times. Silence still looked easier. One night, Ravi remembered his village. He remembered how his parents worked all day without complaining. Nothing came easily to them. Yet they never asked for free rewards. They worked, they waited, and they believed. Ravi understood that learning English was no different from life in the village. You had to work even when no one was watching. He began listening to English stories every night. Simple stories, slow stories. He listened while eating. He listened before sleeping. He listened even when he did not understand everything. Slowly, his ears changed. Words became clearer. Sentences started making sense. Months passed. One day, Ravi's boss asked him to handle a customer alone. Ravi felt nervous, but he agreed. The conversation was simple. Ravi spoke slowly. He listened carefully. When the customer left, his boss nodded quietly. That nod meant more than words. Ravi walked home that evening with a light heart. The city lights looked different. He realized that his confidence was growing, not suddenly, but honestly. English did not change Ravi overnight. It changed him slowly, like sunrise replacing darkness. Each day added something small. A word, a sentence, a little courage. Ravi understood something important. Free things do not build strong people. Effort does. Struggle does. Patience does. And English, which once felt like a wall, slowly became a door. Ravi's confidence did not grow in one day. Some days were good, and some days were very hard. On difficult days, words disappeared from his mind. His tongue felt heavy again. When this happened, Ravi felt disappointed. But he reminded himself that learning was not a straight road. It moved slowly, with many turns. One evening, Ravi met an old friend from his village. The friend spoke English easily and wore clean, confident clothes. Ravi felt small again. For a moment, he wanted to hide. But then his friend spoke kindly and encouraged him. He said that learning English had not been easy for him either. He had failed many times. He had paid the price with years of practice. Ravi listened carefully. He realized that success always had a story behind it. That night, Ravi felt stronger. He understood that comparing himself to others was useless. Everyone pays their own price. Everyone walks at their own speed. Ravi changed his routine. He started speaking English to himself while walking to work. He described what he saw. The road, the shop, the sky. His sentences were simple, but they were real. English slowly became part of his daily life, not just a subject to study. At work, Ravi's boss gave him more responsibility. He asked Ravi to answer phone calls. At first, Ravi was afraid. Phone calls were harder because he could not see the other person's face. But he accepted the challenge. The first few calls were terrible. Ravi made mistakes. He forgot words. But he did not stop. Each call taught him something new. One afternoon, a foreign customer visited the shop. Ravi helped him with calm English. It was not perfect, but it was clear. When the customer thanked him, Ravi felt proud. That moment proved something important. Progress does not come when life is easy. It comes when you stay patient during difficulty. Ravi began to notice that English was changing his thinking. He felt braver. He spoke more. He listened better. He respected himself more. People treated him differently too. Not because his English was perfect, but because his confidence was real. One quiet night, Ravi sat by his window and thought about his journey. He remembered the boy who stayed silent at school. He remembered the fear. He remembered the shame. That boy still lived inside him, but now he was stronger. Ravi finally understood the meaning of nothing is free. Learning English had cost him time, effort, and many uncomfortable moments. But in return, it gave him a voice. And that voice changed his life. Ravi's life slowly began to change in ways he never expected. People in the village started noticing him. They saw that he spoke with confidence now, not loudly, but clearly. When someone asked a question, Ravi answered without fear. Even when he made mistakes, he did not stop. He smiled and continued speaking. One day, a small opportunity came to him. A local school needed someone to help teach basic English to children in the evening. The teacher knew Ravi was learning English and asked if he could help with simple speaking practice. At first, Ravi wanted to say no. He thought, I'm still learning. How can I teach others? But then he remembered his own journey. He remembered how silence once controlled his life. Ravi accepted the offer. On the first day, he stood in front of 10 children. Their eyes were full of curiosity. Ravi felt nervous, but he took a deep breath. He started with simple sentences. Hello. My name is Ravi. How are you? The children repeated after him. Slowly, the fear inside him faded. Teaching others made his own English stronger. Every evening, Ravi prepared his lessons carefully. He did not use difficult words. He told small stories. He asked simple questions. The children laughed, answered, and enjoyed learning. Ravi realized something important. Teaching was also a way of learning. As weeks passed, Ravi's English improved faster than before. He practiced every day, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. English was no longer a burden. It was a tool, a bridge, a voice. One afternoon, Ravi received a message on his phone. It was from a company in the nearby city. They were looking for someone who could speak basic English and help communicate with customers. Ravi read the message again and again. His heart beat fast. This was bigger than anything he had imagined. The interview was simple, but Ravi was ready. He spoke slowly. He listened carefully. He answered honestly. When he did not understand something, he asked politely. The interviewer nodded with appreciation. A few days later, Ravi got the job. The salary was not very high, but it was more than money. It was proof. Proof that his effort had value. Proof that learning English had opened a door that once felt locked forever. When Ravi told his parents, his mother smiled quietly. His father placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "You earned this." Those words meant everything to Ravi. That night, Ravi looked at the sky and smiled. He knew the journey was not finished. There was still more to learn, more mistakes to make, more growth ahead. But one thing was clear now. Nothing is free. But everything is possible, if you are willing to pay the price. Ravi did not become rich overnight. His life did not turn into a movie with instant success. But something more important happened. Ravi believed in himself. Every morning, Ravi woke up early and practiced English before going to work. He listened carefully to conversations. He wrote small notes in a notebook. He repeated sentences while walking. English became part of his life, just like breathing. At his new job, Ravi spoke with people from different places. Sometimes he felt nervous, but he never stayed silent again. Silence had once taken so much from him. Now, he chose courage instead. Some days were still difficult. There were moments when Ravi felt tired and thought about quitting. But then he remembered his past. He remembered the boy who stood quietly in the classroom, afraid to speak. Ravi promised himself he would never go back to that version of himself. One evening, Ravi visited his old school. He stood near the classroom door and watched students learning English. He saw fear in their eyes, the same fear he once had. In that moment, Ravi understood something very deeply. Language is not just about words. Language is about courage. If you speak, you make mistakes. If you stay silent, you stay invisible. Ravi decided to help others whenever he could. He spoke to students. He encouraged them. He told them his story. Not to show success, but to show effort. He wanted them to know that English was not for rich people or smart people. It was for anyone who refused to give up. Years later, Ravi stood in front of a mirror and spoke English confidently. He smiled, not because he was perfect, but because he was free. Free from fear. Free from silence. Ravi paid the price with time, with patience, with effort. And in return, English gave him something priceless. A voice. Final message for you. If you are listening to this story and you feel afraid, if you think your English is weak, if you feel embarrassed to speak, remember this. Nothing is free, but your effort will always pay you back. Start today. Speak slowly. Make mistakes. And never choose silence over growth. Your voice is waiting. English gave me a voice. If this story helped you, like the video and subscribe to learn English through powerful stories. I'll walk this journey with you, step by step.